In 2010, May 11th, he got married. He changed his life. He got married. His wife was pregnant. He has 3 other children. Anyway, he was murdered by someone who was really close to him, who we actually took in as a family member. And this guy set my brother up and took his life.
Okay, can I just step in and ask you a question? Now, I just want to get this clear with everybody out there. Your brother was not the typical guy who hangs out, nothing like that, or be in the wrong crowd or anything, right?
I mean, well, he at one point, yes. You know,
Okay.
I won't sugarcoat it and act like he was some saint or whatever. He did what he did. He actually, and he paid his debts to society.
Okay.
Then he changed his life, moved forward, started a business, several businesses actually, and was working daily. I mean, he got married. He wasn't trying to be in the streets. That's something that my family implemented into all of us from both sides, marriage. So we're very family oriented. Anyway, this guy set him up in a situation and took his life, but you know, we're coping with that. We're dealing with that part of it, even though it's extremely hard every day. But the worst part of it is that there's injustice behind his death. There's the police there. They embraced us initially to make us think that they were for us and wanted to help us.
Let me just ask you a question before you go on that part. Let's get to actually what basically happened. Okay, let's I mean, I know it's kind of emotional for you, but you know, we have people out there sitting out there. We have people in the audience. They just want to know basically how did they get to that point? What actually happened, the day and the time? If you feel you want to go into that.
Yeah, I don't mind, but basic, it's hard to make it basic.
Okay.
I try, John.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. My brother got married May 1st. He and his wife, they went to Vegas, got married, went to California. Her family is there, and they wanted to, you know, have a new life. So they decided to seek out California, and then he returned. I had been doing promotion events. I was like really working weekly in Ohio, and I was exhausted. I came home on a Sunday night. I actually went over into Monday morning. And I received a call, and they said it was like all this screaming and stuff, and they said Mike is dead. And I was like, you know, I was half asleep. I was like, what do you mean? It was like, Mike is dead. You know, they found him in his car. He was in an alley. And I was like, well, who was he with? What happened? And the story started to unfold, and he was with the guy, friend of the family at that time. And I researched, found this guy's number. No one had heard from him. So I researched, called some people. It was like 3 or 4 in the morning, and I got in contact with him. And I said, hey, you know, what's going on? And he said, well, yeah, the detectives called me. I don't know what's going on. I said, weren't you guys together last? Yeah, but I said, well, why didn't you call my parents? You are close to us. Why wouldn't you call them and let them know what was going on? Well, I don't know. So he said he went on over to my parents' house. I was on the phone, and it was so quiet, everybody was just still, and they were listening to him rant and rave about what he did not do.
Okay, so how long did your brother know this guy? How long was he a family friend or a family
he was
member? Or, I mean, a friend of the family, or your brother just knew him for, you know, just like hi and bye or associate, you know, how close was your brother to him?
He was very close. I moved back to Ohio in 1991. I had moved to New York. And when I moved back, my parents lived in that neighborhood, and that's when I met him. And they had probably been there maybe 2 years at that time.
Okay, so you say the injustice with the DA. So let's get on the part with the injustice on the DA. What actually happened?
Well, once it was, he got shot and killed, they had it all over the news that it was this big case, and they brought up my other brother who was incarcerated at the time. They brought up his background, and every single thing that either one of them had ever done, they kept rerunning it on this show in Ohio called Crime Stoppers. And it was really degrading the way they put our family out there, and we were the victims at that time. And I just couldn't understand what was the purpose in that. So moving forward, we were assigned a detective who embraced us and said how much, you know, he really wanted to help us. and he got on the case, and he said any information that we had, bring it to him, and he guaranteed it would go to the prosecution. This guy that's involved, they said they knew that he was involved. They called him a rat, but they just wanted to make sure they had a solid case once it was taken to the prosecution. So at that point, after that, everybody is gathering up all of this information. For example, the guy's car was broken into, from what I heard, when they found some masks, and the masks were turned over to the police. They found...
So who was the mask? Who had the mask?
The suspect.
Okay.
The suspect. There were ski masks and guns in his car, and that was turned over to the police as evidence, and they embraced it like, okay, great. There was another situation where the murder actually happened. There was a local business in the area who gave the police a videotape showing the suspect's vehicle arriving like 60 seconds after my brother's car had pulled up at this restaurant. And they said...
Now this all took place in Dayton, right?
Dayton, Ohio,
okay.
Yes. They gave the tape to the police, and they said, okay, this is him, and everything added up. They said, we have enough to take him in for questioning. In addition to that, someone came to me and said, you know what, I was there in the area when that happened, and those guys rode up on my car, and they looked at me really mean, like they were looking for someone, and they realized I wasn't the person. They rode off, and I heard gunshots shortly after. So, I mean, that's it. That's how it has been going on for us. I asked the questions to the police. They say, well, we have a little bit more information. People are coming forward. We are going to get justice for you guys. Just bear with us. Now it's to the point they don't return calls.
But let me ask you a question. Have you contacted any of the local representatives, the city council people, the state representatives? Have you contacted anybody down there?
Personally, I have not, because it was very frustrating for me. However, a family member of mine, she has.
And how about any local civic groups, any local groups that help you with injustice? Have you ever contacted any of them?
No, we have not. But I must say, I mean, and it's no excuse for it, because we're hurting behind losing our family member. But in Ohio, every day, it's like a lifestyle for someone to get killed and murdered. It's nothing. It's no big deal for the activists to get involved, and if they do, a lot of them turn up dead, or they are frightened. They don't want to be a part of it because they're frightened.
Okay, well, since you're going through the struggles, and I know you want justice to happen, I have another guest. I have two guests actually. Who's going to come up. Mr. Gerald Rose from the New Order organization. So, Mr. Gerald Rose, can you come on up?
Sorry for your loss.
Okay, this is Mr. Gerald Rose. Would you like to introduce yourself, Mr. Gerald Rose?
Yes, my name is Gerald Rose, president of New Order, a national human rights organization. To my left, I have Mark Bell, who's my advisor. I'm tired. I am tired. There's a lot of issues that's going on. At 6:30 p.m., we all going to be hyped up to watch the Super Bowl, but I'm hyped up to be here to talk about what's going on in the community nationwide. We just returned from Fort Gaines, Georgia, on a mass police brutality case. So I'm here today. Starting tomorrow morning, I'm grinding again. People need help out there. Exactly. And when the young lady said that people are scared, I do understand that, but you know what? Once it's my time to leave this earth, it's worth fighting for. You ain't promised tomorrow anyway.
Let me ask you a question, Mr. Rose. So in her situation, what's the best way she can tackle this?
Exposure. My chief of staff lives in Dayton, Ohio, John Drummond. And I'm going to reach out to both these young ladies as soon as we get done with this, because you can't have the attitude that we're wasting our time. Because what we did yesterday, we got some justice. So this was meant to happen on the same day, us meeting today. This is Black History Month. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I'm just discouraged on all of my 5,000 Facebook friends, when Mandela passed away and Dr. King. What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you living the dream? If not, you're a part of the problem.
See, the problem I see is that we as black folks, Black American, African Americans, whatever we want to call this, we don't tackle the cause. We might have somebody that got beat up by police. We might have somebody that got beat up by a gang of folks. We might have somebody that got raped and molested, and we don't come out in a group. We don't come out in a group. We don't come out to help each other out. We don't come out to console each other. I mean, we just need to become stronger like we were in the 60s. And we just need everybody to just come together again. We just need it. So Gerald, I mean, like with this thing that happened with the DA down in Dayton, I mean, and how many years was this? 4 years ago. 4 years ago. And the other guy's still out. That's what I'm concerned. The other guy's still out. And she already buried her brother. Mm-hmm. And so basically it's still an open case.
It's not over with. There was a situation happened in 2006 where a guy named Anthony Price was murdered. We got involved. We met with Paul Howard, the DA. Once we got involved, the ball started rolling because I will expose you. You're not doing your job. They're elected officials. That's why I'm glad you brought up about was elected officials involved. They work for us. Right. They're our constituents.
Exactly.
So it's not over with. It's just the fact you got to keep the pressure on them. You know. So me and my advisor we're already talking about it. I know we got a lot going on this month. But we're going to make sure that we kind of help assist this family because that could have been a family of mine. We can't be selfish as a people.
No, we can't be because everybody can see now she's very emotional right now. And the fact is, I mean, I never lived in Ohio, but my thing is this. Ohio has a big black population, right? Okay, Ohio, I mean, what are you guys doing? I mean, this woman's from Dayton. You need to help this woman. I mean, even the pastors in the church, somebody's a lawyer that can do something pro bono. I mean, we all have to do something in life for free, no matter what it is. So, I mean, everybody, her family, I mean, I'm just saying right now, her family should help out. Gerald's going to help out. I'm going to help out. If I have to take my show up to Dayton, I'm rolling. You know, all I want is somebody to fix me something to eat, and I'm rolling. So, I mean, if you go to Dayton.
Well, I'm from Ohio. It's only 2.5 hours from my hometown, so I'm very familiar with Ohio. Matter of fact, before I even got on the set today, I just got an inbox message on Facebook saying that we need you all up there. And I can't only do so much. I'm not God. It's just the fact that we need everyone for support. It takes everybody. Right. But once it hits home, then you want to get involved. It's too late. Then you got to be proactive instead of be reactive.
See, I like you said that because we as black folks, when something happens to any of us, it gets on the news. It might go a second day. Then it starts dribbling out. It starts dribbling off the news media. And then we as black people, we just, okay, I think they'll be all right. Nothing else happens.
That's right.
But our counterparts, it keeps on going. It keeps on going. When somebody's lost, our counterparts are out there looking in the woods. They're looking in the weeds. They're looking through urban areas. Right. But when our kids are lost or something happens to one of our people, it dies out. We just have to keep it going. We have to keep it going.
Right. I'm going to have my advisor kind of explain about the political side because you brought up a good point about elected officials because we have to work with them, you know, at a certain point when we need things. So I'm going to ask Mark Bell, my advisor, to kind of speak on the political side of what we're doing in the community.
You know, John, it's good that you brought up the DA because it's interesting. I was just explaining to them in the green room that the DA, that's who hold a large part of the blame because a lot of the investigation, it starts with the DA. That's who instruct the investigation to start. And if we put pressure on the district attorney, then we can get the ball rolling. And you know, it's interesting because a large part of what's going on in our community is the civil rights community did not adjust with the time. A large part, you see the civil rights organization, you know, marching through the streets. But it has to be more than that. You know, we have to make sure that we are putting the pressure on each one of those politicians, you know, and holding them accountable, allowing them to realize that, hey, African Americans have a say-so in what's going on.
And you know when you say that, I'm sure in Dayton, Ohio is a large population of African Americans. Mm-hmm. Now when the DA is going for re-election, people, get an African American to run. I'm sure there's a bunch of African Americans in the Dayton, Ohio that are lawyers. Have them run. Have them run. And stop being a sucker to this world. Because each election I see it. We all even worry about the local elections. Don't get me wrong. President Obama, I love the guy. I love the man. We vote for the presidency. We vote for the U.S. congressmen. We vote for the U.S. senators. We vote for the state senators. But when it comes down to the state representatives, and it comes down to the DAs, and when it comes down to city council members and county commissioners, we all just disappear on election day.
And judges.
Exactly, and
And
judges.
judges.
Get out and vote, because if you don't get on the vote, I mean, this thing's going to be a cycle. It's going to keep on happening. It's going to keep on happening. It's going to keep on happening. So get out and vote. Find out who's running. If you're not happy, find somebody that has the qualifications to run and get them in there.
And Ohio has a lot of, in the 60s, Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio elected the first African-American mayor. And so Ohio has always had a progressive mindset. But it seemed like over the years they have somewhat fell asleep.
Of course they're going to fall asleep. Of course they're going to fall asleep. Don't get me started now. Because a lot of times when these local or elected officials get in office, a lot of times, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Put it like this. We have to stop voting black. I'm just going to be honest. We got to stop doing it. We keep on voting a black person in there, they get in there, and they just dwindle. I mean, if you're going to get in office, do something. Don't get in office and just sit back and put your hands behind your back and, oh, well, whatever. I mean, come on now.
Well, once they get in office and then they get accustomed to everybody giving them praise here and there, and so they forget about that they have to be held accountable.
But who's the mayor of Drayton, Ohio? Dayton. Who's the mayor of Dayton?
I'm not for sure.
The mayor of Dayton?
I don't, I'm sorry.
Hey,
I
can somebody call in and tell me who's the Dayton, who's the mayor of Dayton?
We can find out.
Yeah, Erica, well, what's the number we can call in? Because we're going to find out, and if somebody can shoot him an email to look at the show, or someone can even call him, to call what John Neal's saying the show right now. I know he's watching the Super Bowl, but I think people's lives are more important than the Super Bowl game.
And the district attorney.
And the district
Don't leave
attorney.
him out.
Because I'm not getting no residual of a Super Bowl game. I tell you what, everybody's going to have a big cable bill at the end of the month.
Gary Litzel,
Gary Litzel.
he's the mayor.
He's the mayor. Well, can somebody contact Gary Litzel? Tell him to call up John L. Sanders Show right now, or get in contact with me. My number is I'm putting my number global. 404-509-7573. 404-509-7573. If he's out of the country, put 1 in front of him. Sure.
I would like to say, and I hear what you guys are saying, everyone, and it's a lot of politics involved, but where I'm from, in my hood, in Hillside, it's a lot of people that don't know what to do.
Well,
people say what we can do and get involved, but who are the people that's telling them and us how to get involved?
Well, I tell you what.
No one's coming to Hillside, to Gilsey, to say, this is what you guys need to do, because it's people that's willing. I know a lot of people that love me that will follow, but they don't know how, and I don't know how to show them.
That's what we're here for.
That's what Gerald and his advisors here for. I mean, if anybody's watching from Hillside, Gerald, tell them what to do.
Well, that's what we do, and like I said, we will plan to get a hold of your situation. John Drummond, who lives in Dayton. I have a bad research there. Matter of fact, I have to give a shout out to Lucy Diaz and John Drummond from the research department, because without them, we cannot do it, because they bring some strong facts.
Well, let's get in detail right now.
Okay.
Let's tell them what they can do now. What they can do is what? Find out who their local official. Put it like this: find out who's the city council person. But this is what you do. You call City Hall right now. Call City Hall when you get it. Not today, but call City Hall tomorrow, and ask the city clerk. Put it like this: you tell the city clerk what your zip code is. She can tell you who the city council person is. Then you call the county clerk's office. The county clerk will tell you who the county commissioner is, and after that, you call the Capitol, and you just ask the secretary at the Capitol who is your senator, and who's your state representative, and your congressman or congresswoman, and they will tell you all that. I mean,
Well, John,
yes,
let me simplify it for them, because a lot of times African Americans, they don't want to take those steps. Go to your local library.
That's good.
Go to your local library and ask the people at the front desk, who is my city council member, who is my commissioner, who is my district attorney, who is my state representative. They will look it up. I mean, you hold your local library administrator accountable too.
Right.
You know, because they work for you also. So it's simplified. Go to your library and get them to do it. And then the ball can go to rolling right there.
So folks, you gotta get up. What's the songs? You gotta get up and out, you gotta get up and get out and do something. Do that. You gotta do it.
That's true. That's true. So there's a lot of work to do out there. You know, not just Ohio, all over the country. You know, because when we went to Fort Gaines, Georgia yesterday, the first thing I asked, how long was the sheriff in office? 50-something years.
Oh, no, you should have been out.
You know, when I shook his hand, he could barely shake my hand. You know, I mean, it was just sad. And the chief of police I met with or whatever, you know, you could tell it was like a Mayberry town, but they wasn't used to that. But again, it makes a difference because again, New Order know we will expose you. I keep saying that. We will expose you as long as you know what to do, how to strategize. We just don't get involved in anything. We make sure that our research is effective, you know, because I don't want to just say anything and disappoint people because everybody's not going to agree what you're going to do anyway doing this type of work.
Exactly.
I mean, I get it all the time, the negativity, this and that. My house and church was put on fire growing up because what my dad stood up for. As long as I get on my knees every day and pray to God and be there for the people and not the cameras, we get the results. Bottom line, period.
Wow. Shanick, you have anything to add to this? Kind of quiet?
I know about I was talking to her earlier about New Orleans as well, so hopefully we can kind of get some things going on down there. But I know New Orleans got some things, and I'm glad that you relocated. Maybe we can assist you as well.
Yeah, we have a lot of, basically it's the same. You know, New Orleans and Dayton, it seems like it's similar. You know, the murder rate is every day down there. All day, every day. At one time, they started killing families. Not just one, they take out the whole family.
So who was doing that?
The guys, the younger generation. Because that's where a lot of the murders coming from now.
And this younger generation is just out of control right now. These kids, I just don't understand it. And Sherry, you want to add it? Just ask Joe anything.
I will, gladly. Gerald, so, and just in all honesty, a lot of people, my family is large, so we embrace a lot of friends and family, and a lot of them have records. So, Mark, you said go to the local library and ask them about, you know, how to get the ball rolling, but a lot of them are afraid because they have records, they're felons.
But that shouldn't hold them. Yeah, Mr. Bell, take that.
Yeah, when they go to the local library does not have any authority to, if they have a record, to pass that information along. In fact of the matter, they don't have to have a library card to ask a question, because you know, yes, they will ask you, do you have a library card? But if they stay in that community, they don't have to have a library card to ask a question. And that's what we are really telling them.
Let me say one more thing. Even though if you're a felon and you got a job, you're paying taxes. So you're paying taxes. Obviously, that's going to pay the city council people and everybody that works in the city. So you have every single right like everybody else. You're paying taxes. I mean, come on.
Yeah. And you know, I understand the fear that African Americans have going into the city hall, the state capitol.
You don't have fear.
Because when I first came to Atlanta, I was 21 years old, and I would drive by the state capitol and look up at the state capitol and wonder if I could go in there. Because my family never told me that, oh yeah, we can go in there free. And so the first time I went there, I stopped at the security desk and was waiting on them to tell me, no, I couldn't be in there. And then they told me to go right on through, and I'm like, oh, I can be here. So that's a reality in African American mind. And we cannot enter those buildings. That's what they think.
But I don't understand where they're getting that from.
Well, because of a legacy of not knowing. That's what it is.
But see, and again, it's. I'm not going to say this. I hope I don't offend anybody. It's sad. You should not assume that you're not allowed to go anywhere in the continental or whatever, or anywhere around the world, any place.
But John, when you only see white people going up them steps, into that door, and nobody else told you from that looks like you told you that you could be that you can go into those doors, then the reality pops in your head. Well, I don't supposed to be there.
I understand that, but sometimes we have to break that mentality. We have to. We got to break that mentality.
And that's what this panel is for.
Well, that's
break
great.
that
You got to break it.
mentality.
So I'm gonna tell you, anybody out there, don't be scared to go nowhere. I mean, if you didn't do nothing, you have nothing to worry about.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because, again, when me and my spokesman went
I'm
to
getting upset.
4 games yesterday, I didn't know where I was going to, but it was the same agenda. I mean, it was straight Mayberry. You know, I didn't know these people. But, again, I was not afraid.
No.
You know, so you can't be afraid. You cannot be afraid. Like I said, I don't understand, but I do understand that more people are encouraged than others. I do
Yeah,
understand that.
my thing is this. I mean, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. I mean, you have every right as anybody else. Again, I'm not a racist, but I'm about to say, people don't get it twisted. You have other people from other countries coming here. They're not afraid.
That's right. That's right.
They go in.
They take our money too, don't they?
Exactly. We were brought here, not in a luxury liner, not like the Titanic. Slaves were on their back, on top of each other. People were vomiting each other. People were defecating on each other. That's how slaves are brought here. And I just wanted to say that because, hey, it's Black history, you know. But that's how slaves were brought here. And when we got here, we was beaten, chained up, killed, hung, you know.
Still getting done like that, if you ask me.
So if my ancestors came here like that, I ain't gonna be afraid. You know, already the Indians, you know, but I don't even want to get in that. Well, so, Sherry, let's not be afraid. You know, tell your folks, let's not be afraid.
Well, I just want to clarify. They're not afraid.
Mhm.
They just don't know. They don't know how to go and do what it takes.
Right.
When you have detectives harassing you, mistaking you for someone else, or pulling you over because you drive a certain type of car, your mentality is not, let me go to the Capitol or let me go to the library and find out who my commissioner is. It's let me hurry up and get my money right so I can get out of here.
But
That's the mentality
Right.
that Daytonians have, but I just appreciate you guys because now it's time. Now we can stand up. Now we can get something done. So they said they coming to Dayton. So get ready.
I tell you what, Joe, you get it ready, and I'll be ready. You know, I mean, ask me questions. Hit me up at Twitter at John L. Sanders, all lowercase, and hit me up on Facebook, John L. Sanders, or the John L. Sanders Show, or hit me up my email, johnl.sanders@yahoo.com. I mean, ask me some questions. Somebody from the hillside call me now, because no one should have that mentality like that. I mean, if you're not sure about something, talk to somebody. I'm sure there's some blacks. Well, I'm gonna leave that alone. But I mean, if you're not sure, I mean, go into City Hall. Ask them who your city council person is. Don't be intimidated.
And let me say this, John. One thing that all African Americans have to realize: don't just be rocks laying around. Because rocks laying around, everybody step on.
Well, you stepped on a kid.
Exactly. And so, never be a rock just laying around.
I love when you say that.
That was good. I like that. I just wanted to say, we need to, we've been talking about Dayton, Ohio, you know, because you guys are.
Forget New Orleans.
Yeah.
Sorry, speak up about doing.
We really need to find some type of justice down in New Orleans, Louisiana, too, because it's really getting worse. Like, you know, my cousin right now, he was murdered maybe 4 years ago, and my other cousin, he felt like the police wasn't doing their job, and they went and they tried to handle it themselves. Well, they got caught up in the situation, and my cousin is in jail now for it, and they shipped him to a jail facility that's in Kendall, Louisiana.
Is that a jail or prison?
It's a prison.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a prison. And now they have him up there with the guys that killed my cousin, and he's alone by himself, and he's been jumped and beaten. You know, so and then I know they have cameras, and I know they're aware of what's going on. So we have to find some type of justice for this.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna get right. We have a question for somebody? We have a question?
Yes, we do. It's actually a couple of questions.
Okay.
I'm getting them on my phone.
Okay.
So I hope that you can hear me. The first question is from the lady from Ohio. How are you and your family coping now?
What, did she leave a name?
No.
Okay, lady from Ohio.
Yeah, yeah, they're shooting me text.
Okay.
So,
Well, just thank her for even being considerate to ask us, but it's so hard. It's so hard. I come here, I stay busy. It's almost like our family has been destroyed because of my brother's death. It's definitely hard. I keep pushing, keep praying, and we will get closure. It won't get better. I mean, it'll get better as time goes on, but we will feel better if we get closure to his death, because I'm not just saying it because he was my brother, but he was a good guy. Mike was a good guy. He wanted everybody to be happy. He wanted everybody to feel good, and it was a tragedy for him to lose his life and for us to be robbed of his life and our system not care. They don't care. They don't care about us.
Can we go to the next question?
yes, next question. This is for the entire panel. And I do just want to say before I read the question, if you decide to send a text, please put your name with it. But this one is for the entire panel. And that is, why does there seem to be, there's a two-part question. Why does there seem to be so much violence in the African American community? And why does it seem that no one cares to do anything about it or bring awareness to it?
I'd like to answer that question. It seems that a lot of our rights as parents has been taken away. I do believe in whoopings, but I don't believe in child abuse. Again, prayer has been taken out of school. There's a lot of stuff that's going on, and I just feel that until we take care of home first, you know, all these video games is going on, this music that's going on, it's just a lot of our kids are listening to this stuff. You know, I didn't stay in the house all day and play video games. You know, we was outside doing things. You know, had a curfew to come in. It's just different. I just have to realize it's different. It's just the fact that it's like wild now. It's like we don't have no answers, but the kids, we cannot give up. But I love my people. I'm not going to give up on my people. But I am going to say that racism and black-on-black crime is on the same level with me right now. You know, we was upset what happened to Trayvon Martin, Jordan Davis. But then again, if we're calling each other the N-word, we're sagging or whatever, I'm upset about that. It's conflict of interest. So it starts at home, you know.
And see, I just want to say something. We need to get mad when we start killing each other as well. I mean, because we're killing how many black folks kill each other in a day?
In Chicago, there's more people getting killed in Chicago than Afghanistan.
That's right.
Right
Yeah.
now.
But what we have to do, I guess, that question, I don't even know the answer, because to me, I'm just getting tired of waking up every day and hearing the Chicago news and what's Detroit news, the Atlanta news. I mean, in New York, I mean, they even stopped the violence. I mean, not saying it's real to stop, but I mean, we just got to stop killing each other.
Well, you know, when we speak about violence in the African American community, we have to realize and understand, well, there's lack of job, there's lack of hope. And so when you don't have any hope, you will tend to do whatever and whenever to whoever.
But can I interject on that as well? Yeah. But this is what we have to really start doing as well. We got to start teaching our kids, hey, get an education, number one. And number two, go after you get your education, try to look for the best job that's going to suit your lifestyle. My thing is this, I'm just going to say it, I just get sick and tired when these kids are killing each other and the parents are home doing nothing. I'm not talking about work, but not doing nothing about what these kids are doing. If you have a 13, 14, and 15-year-old, what the heck are doing out in the street 12 o'clock at midnight? That's where we got to stop first. I mean, that's where we got to stop. We got to stop the kids from hanging out. That's what when I was growing up, there was never a curfew. Now they have curfews, you can't even go to the mall. If you're not 18, you cannot be in the mall on Saturday after 6 o'clock.
And let me say this, because when you speak of education, getting them education, that's awesome and that's wonderful.
Right.
But all African Americans and all white folks and all Latinos and all Asians are not going to go to school.
But whose fault is that? Let me.
That's a reality.
Yeah, but see.
100% of people cannot go to school.
Exactly, but I'm going to tell you the problem. There's a situation, I don't want to bring it up, but anyway, there's situations where these parents have these kids where they're in 10th grade, I'm not going to school no more. And the parents are like, okay. That's where the breakdown's at. If my son ever tells me when he gets in 10th grade, hey Dad, I don't feel like going to school anymore, I'm gonna look at him crazy. That's where the breakdown comes, when these kids start making responsible decisions where the parents cannot. I'm not even saying responsible decisions, when these kids start making decisions where the parents don't even care.
You know what, that I think too, a lot of the kids now in this generation, in all honesty, they're crack babies. Their parents, they were raised by their grandparents or aunts or whatever, so they have no standards. They don't know. You know, I'm not making an excuse for them, but they really don't know because they have, they were raised in an era where it's okay for them to do whatever they want to do. So I just wanted to bring that to you guys' attention. In addition to, like Gerald and most of the people on this panel are doers. It's a lot of people who are talkers and they are just going to sit back and talk. And I think that's the bottom line. You have doers and you have talkers. So just be a doer.
Well, before you go, Joe, we have one question. Come up here, young man. I'm going to let this young man get his chance to be on the John and Sunday show. Okay, come on up. Come on up and stand over here. Come up and stand over here. Okay, well, what's your question?
Well, I just really have a comment. My name is Jay Corley. I'm a cousin of Shanick.
And where you from?
I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana.
Okay.
And, you know, when I was young, we didn't have video games as much. I remember Nintendo first came out, but, you know, guys played video games, and we still seem to have a high crime rate. So, you know, a lot of times we want video games, we see video games, but that's not necessarily always the issue. What I really wanted to say is I recently wrote a book called You Next, and not to really plug that, but I talk about creating the person that you want to be in life.
Right.
And in my book, it talks about cycles, and a lot of the things that we're talking about now is cyclical. With African Americans being afraid to go into City Hall, with African Americans not knowing what to do. But at the same time, it's still cyclical with African Americans knowing how to party, African Americans knowing how to, you know, treat each other in a gang environment and things like that. So what my comment really is, you know, for people to recognize what kind of cycle that they're in and go towards it. Someone once told me, before I wrote my book, someone once told me is take a look at somebody that's older than you. It can be 10 years old, it can be 20 years older than you that may be doing what you're doing now. And that's pretty much telling you your future, what you're going to look like in the next 10 to 20 years. And if you don't like what that person is doing or that person has become, then you may want to change, because that's basically how you're going to end up. And from that, what I did was I just looked at someone that I did want to be like, somebody that I did decide that, you know, hey, that's a better look for me than maybe this other person. And I just started to backtrack what that person did in life. And as I start to backtrack what this particular person did, I see that they did have an education. I see that they did not sell drugs. I saw that they did not hang on street corners. And then that was able to help me to change the things that I was doing, because everybody in some sense want to be like somebody, whether it's you want to be like Dr. King, you know, in your activism, whether you want to be like, you know, Oprah Winfrey with some of the females in their talk show hosts, you know, whatever the case may be, just kind of take a look at the person that you might want to be in life and start making decisions that'll get you that place, versus somewhere that you look and you don't want to be a bum on the street in 20 years. So you might not want to do what you're continuing to do now.
Okay. All right, thanks a lot. Appreciate that. And let me, I just want to say something too, just like what he says. going back and being like someone, my thing is this, I just get upset when black folks say this. If, for instance, if I want to be like somebody that's African, not African American, but a Hispanic descent, or Caucasian or Indian, don't get mad. Because that person probably had a big impact on me. So let's not go there with that as well. So do we have anything else? Do you want to say any more things? Want to say anything else?
Yeah, about
Talk to me, talk to me.
Before we leave, Shanick and I just want to say that you guys should come out to Tinseltown Studios on February the 8th. We have a live networking experience going on. It's going to be very informative for people who want to be entrepreneurs, or if you're already established and want to reach a broader audience. This is the place for you to be. We'll have workshops, food, entertainment, Pretty Hustles group, French Kiss, they'll be performing. That's my niece in that group too, so hey. But just wanted to let y'all know to come out. It will be a really good experience. Book writers, cooks, whatever will be there. So yeah, models, and I'll let Shanick say something about it as well. Thank you. Oh, you can get tickets as well. Go to Sherry Nevins on Facebook.com, and you can get tickets, or you can purchase them at Empire.
And what time it's going to be?
The workshops are from 5 to 7. And we have instructors teaching those classes. And the show actually started at 8. So see you guys then.
Well, buddy, you touched on everything. So
I tried. I tried.
What Sherry said, you guys, we would love to see you next Saturday at the live networking event. This will be epic. You would not want to miss it. You can get something from it, and this is how you win.
That's right.
I have a couple announcements. The second Saturday is coming up. We're having a big outreach event with the Fountain of Hope every second Saturday of the month. We feed over maybe 1,500 homeless people. It ain't just Thanksgiving. It ain't just Christmas. It's every day of the week. You know, so that's going to be this Saturday. And then on the 22nd, we have
What time this Saturday?
I'm sorry, from 10 to 1.
10 to 1?
Yeah, and you can contact our outreach director, Ms. Joyce Pryor, at 770-899-6106. And then, of course, we're going to have a youth event as well at the same time. So we have a lot going on, but on February 22nd,
But let me go back to next Saturday.
Okay.
Because next Saturday's coming. Do anybody that come up there, do they need like any identification? Do they have to show any identification?
No,
Okay,
everything is free. We be giving away TVs.
Okay.
I mean, even if someone is looking for a job, we would donate you a suit. You know what I'm saying? So we doing the work. Like she said, you got a lot of people, no disrespect, or just the fact there is no excuse, because everybody can be homeless.
But let me ask you a quick question. You said you donate the suit.
If someone is looking for a job.
It's 42 and the shirt's 16, 16 and a half.
If someone's looking for a job, seriously, looking for a job, you have some ID or whatever, you come up there, we will donate you a suit.
What about the lady?
We do that too.
And
Yes.
give us the address. Give us everybody get your pens out. Joe, let's give
It's 829.
Give about 5 seconds. Everybody get a pen and a piece of paper, and please write this down.
It's 829 Hollywood Road, Atlanta, Georgia, 30018.
Okay, you got
We do that every second Saturday.
Every second Saturday, so this Saturday coming.
That's correct. And then, of course, we're having our Black and White Gala on February 22nd, which Ethel Harris, our business manager, has did a wonderful, she got the Delphonics.
Shout out to Ethel.
Oh yeah, she's a hard worker. It ain't just me. I have an organization that works, there's no drama. If you bring drama, you gotta go. It ain't all about that drama. That's why I don't even recruit nobody no more.
Right.
John, you done seen how New Order then came.
Yep.
Now Blessings is coming.
Yes.
And this month, USA Today is doing an article on New Order. Wow. I mean, we doing something. You know, so I just thank God that, again, I have a wonderful staff, Mark Bell, my advisor, my spokesperson, my press secretary, chief of staff. I mean, I can just go on and on and on. You know, I just thank God for a wonderful team.
Okay, so can I come to any of you guys' events? Can I come to your event?
And I'm sorry, it is $50 for the fundraiser.
Okay.
Now, we do need money.
Yeah.
We need money because I can't get around. If you need some help, we need money.
Okay.
But you know what?
Well, when they have to have the money in by?
Actually, if you can get in as soon as possible,
Where can they send it to?
You can go to my Facebook page, but again, call my business manager, Ethel Harris, at 678-690-0647, because I don't want to give out the wrong information. Only thing I can do is run my mouth.
Right.
Administration work, they handle all that. One thing about women I could say, y'all are very organized. You know, so I really want to appreciate that as a female species because, Mark, tell them, we just sit back. We out here just in the front lines, but it's some people that's organized. So after we get all that information out for them.
So let's who's going to be for anybody going to be performing there?
We're going to have the Delphonics.
Oh wow!
My dad is going to come in and speak. We're going to have Sheriff Victor Hill. We're going to have Channel 2 there. Fred Blankenship. He's going to be the master of ceremony. You know, it's going to be. And you talk about networking, ladies. You need to be there. I got your ticket now when we leave. I'm just joking. But you need to be there. It's all good because if you don't network, you got to get out. When I first came to Georgia, I didn't know nobody, but I started tapping into resources. I just started tapping into resources because I hate to say it, you got to scratch each other back.
Yeah, and I remember when I came, I didn't know a soul. I did not know a soul.
Yeah, so we're just excited, John, and I'm glad you have a wonderful, wonderful show.
Thank you.
You know, and New Order got your back. Anything that we can do because somebody helped us.
Right.
You can't be selfish. As
No, you can't be selfish. And everybody that knows me here in Douglas County, everybody know me in Douglas County. I'm not a selfish person. I'm here to help you. Like again, if you need some help from me, 404-509-7573. That's the hotline. And
one other thing, I'm sorry. I am going to be looking for guest speakers. We just tapped into the public schools. Okay, and I finally got in there because they looked at me as a troublemaker because I will speak my mind. But we finally get into the schools. We're going to be speaking at an alternative school.
okay.
On every Tuesday at 11:30. We'll have people come in. I just bring anybody that can kind of speak to the boys and girls about, you know, they've been there and done that, things like that. So we will be looking for speakers on that. So if anyone interested in coming out, please call New Order at 1-800-346-5138.
Okay, great. Anything else you want to add, Mr. Bell?
You usually don't be this quiet. You must be ready for that game, huh?
Anything else you want to add? Okay. So let's get back to Sherry, because Sherry, it's a very strong subject. I mean, do you want to ask Gerald any in-depth questions? Like when is a good time that he can go up? Anytime soon, or when if you're ready, Gerald, or do you want to go back to Dayton and see if you can try to get some more information first?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everything he said, in addition to what can I do? What can I, other than us making a connection, is there any...
Well, you can start contacting the people that support you in Dayton.
Yes.
To give them a heads up that you reached out to a national human rights organization that's willing to be in the forefront, to come up there if possible, have a press conference, you know, and start making phone calls, you know. So everybody ain't got to be in the front line. We could be your voice now. You know, we just got to have the research. So I don't like to go half-stepping. I need to know what I'm up against, you know. But if I don't go to Toledo, which is 2.5 hours from Dayton, I'm going to get chewed out. So I better, I will be coming up there to Dayton or whatever. Like I said, I have a seed planted in Dayton. John Drone, my chief of staff. You know, we was involved with the situation. You heard about the 16-year-old young man that was molested by 2 grown white men.
Yes, yes. He was
I didn't even know, check this
That
out.
was in Ohio. What part of Ohio
Dayton.
was that?
Dayton.
And I didn't even know this mother. But I read this, I'm like, John, I need you to get in contact with her. I called her on Christmas Day because her son wasn't here. And it was like an angel. So when I called her, I didn't even, you know, she was like, who is this? Like, she just started crying. You know, I said, well, my name is Mr. Rose from Atlanta, and I know it's hard for you because this is the first year that you're without your son for Christmas. I said, anything that I could do. So basically she said, yeah. So we've been monitoring the situation, you know, making calls and stuff. And just found out that the DA is going to be seeking the death penalty for the 2 guys that was accused of this. Plus, we can give you spiritual guidance. I have a spiritual advisor. Keeps me strong. I can have her reach out to you as well. So we just don't just do these shows or come on here. We have a backup agenda.
And that's what we need, results. I mean, that's what people in Ohio, everywhere, New Orleans, everywhere, we're looking for results. People are willing, but, and I'm not making any excuses because I'm a doer.
Okay.
But I have a lot of people that they're willing, but they don't know how. So, yeah.
Just give me to the right person or whatever in Dayton, unless you're going to be the contact person for people in Dayton, and we will go from here.
All right, thank you guys.
Okay.
We gonna come to New Orleans?
Oh yeah, we come to New Orleans, but you gotta. Now I know about I've been in the NOLA. I know about the NOLA because we had an issue happened in Jackson, Mississippi, where they covered one of our events where a carload of 4 white teens ran over a black guy, Jackson, Mississippi. I don't know if you've seen that. And we went up there, and they was only going to just charge 1 person. Now, and you both know if we got a car, us 4 got in the car, as African Americans, and run over a white person, we all go get what? Okay, they only charge the driver. I said, oh no. We went to Jackson, I went up there several times and made sure that everybody else got punished. So I know Nola I work with a guy that's from New Orleans, so I know about New Orleans, so we got to make this happen. This fact, we need support people in New Orleans.
Wow.
This is a very hot topic. I mean, and I like getting discussions like this. I get so excited. But I just want to talk about our sponsors right now. Our first sponsor is Erica Mitchell Henry and Indigo Salon Indigo, and we have April Penix from Divine Treats, and Bubba Max, and also Mike Miller and Hightower. That's a law firm, and of course Tinseltown Studios. So I'd like to thank our guest. And you guys want to say any final words?
No, well, if you ladies are not doing that on Tuesday night, you can. We're having a conference called Tuesday night at 7, and maybe you could be our guest. You can kind of chime in, explain your story on what's going on. So we do that every Tuesday. So we're very busy. Just the fact that it takes all of us. It takes all of us.
I have one last comment from someone before.
Okay, we have one more last comment.
It's a comment from Mr. Level.
Oh, Mr.
Yes, he said his comment, we need to reach out to our people who have become complacent, who are content with now.
Wow.
Yes, and I also have the email address
Thank you, Mr. Doug Level.
for the mayor, if you guys are interested in emailing him. It is Gary.Leitzel, which is spelled Leitzell at DaytonOhio.gov.
Okay, who said that?
I researched that.
Oh, okay. I like that my director doing her thing. All right, so again, you want to tell everybody about your networking event? Give them again.
Yeah, it's called the Live Networking Event. It's February the 8th here at Tinseltown Studios.
Right here.
Right here. It starts at 5. Tickets are only $15, and we've actually put a lot of work and time in it so you guys can have an experience that you will never forget. You get to market yourself and your business, bring your business live on stage, and it'll be a lot of help here that can actually help you guys out to get to the next level. And I just want to say, Mom and Daddy, we have help now.
All right, Mom and Dad.
I want to ask and challenge your listeners to get involved, to become a part of this new movement for justice, because we cannot do it by ourselves. And so we need everybody to do their part, because if you won't change, and if you demand change, you got to step up to the plate, because a few people cannot change the world. A few people cannot change the United States. We need everybody. And so we need all of you to email the mayor in Dayton. We need all of you to email your district attorney in Dayton. And not only in Dayton, but in New Orleans Parish. Email the district attorney. Email your councilmen, email your commissioners, email your supervisors. So we need everybody to play their part, because if you don't play your part, then that failure that you're speaking of, or that you recognize right now, will continue.
Okay, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in on the show. I'm so sorry that we started early. I know everybody's getting ready to watch the game, and all I can say is just go Seahawks. So for next Sunday, we will have Diana Campbell next Sunday, and I'm not going to tell you what she does until you watch the show. And this is John L. Sanders from the John L. Sanders Show, signing off.